Hello, and welcome to our weekly Friday Live Extra, produced in conjunction with Friday Live, which broadcasts over the air and comes to you as a podcast each week. Don't forget to check out even more about Nebraska Arts and Humanities on our website, nebraskapublicmedia.org/Friday Live.
And Mary bore Jesus, who was wrapped up in silk. And Mary bore Jesus Christ, our Savior, for to be. And the first tree of the greenwood, it was the holly.
Omaha's Joslyn Castle is known for its architectural grandeur. Built for George Joslyn and his wife Sarah Joslyn, the house was completed in 1903. Coming to the castle on Friday, January 2nd, and Saturday, January 3rd at 5:30 p.m. is Kantare Omaha's 12th night at the castle. A magical dinner that will feature the likes of Queen Elizabeth and Lord Dudley. Laura Petrie is the founder and director of Kantare Omaha, and she joins me here today.
Good morning.
How long has Kantare Omaha been putting on 12th Night at the Castle?
Well, this is actually Kantare's third annual performance of 12th Night at the Castle. We began in 2021, but we became a 501c3 in 2023. And as part of that, wanted to create something very special that suits our vibe as a Renaissance ensemble, but also really features the only castle in Omaha. When we decided to have a madrigal dinner, it was the natural choice to partner with the Joslyn Castle and create something magical. It's a quiet dead space after the chaos of too many concerts all in the same 3 weeks. That's why we started it. We thought, you know what? We are a Renaissance ensemble, Kantare, and therefore in the Renaissance, they would celebrate the Christmas season for a whole month. Why wouldn't we celebrate 12th Night like they did? We're a Renaissance ensemble with, old English traditions. And when we realized no one else was doing it that week, other people have had madrigal dinners, but they do them in early December. So we thought, this is perfect. This is who we are.
Since it's your third year, is there anything new coming this year that I guess you can share, just as far as what might be different from last year?
Yes, it's always a growing and evolving process. We learned a lot in the first 2 years. And so the newest thing this year is that we're having it catered by Catering Creations. So that's a definite upgrade of the meal experience. The guests will get to enjoy a dual entree that has both a wonderful roasted loin of beef, partnered with a braised chicken with fennel and onions and apples and cherries, a very Renaissance style dinner, as well as a dessert reception afterwards. They get to go into the dining room and choose spice cakes and lemon cakes and things appropriate for the event. We have always enjoyed including a lot of appropriate entertainment. You mentioned Queen Elizabeth and Lord Dudley will be there, of course, and the music room of the castle will serve as their court. And so we'll have guests dining in the music room as well as in the library and in the gold room and in the balcony. So each room offers its own mood, whether you like to have a quiet dinner with entertainment that visits you, or whether you want to be in the court and enjoy all of the chaos and revelry that ensues. There will be both moods available. We have mummers, and if you don't know what mummers are, they used to be the townsfolk or the town children that would come in and do a play, usually St. George and the Dragon, for the lords at the castle. We have the youth from the Bellevue Dance Academy theater class that do this for us every year, which is so much fun to bring in their energy and their excitement. We also have Kim Meyer as the harpist to provide that wonderful ambiance while you're dining and having dinner. We have flute and violin, of course, the 16 voices of Kantare caroling, usually about 30 carols throughout the evening. And St. Nicholas and Krampus will even make an appearance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's going to be fun.
For those who are unfamiliar, what is a madrigal?
So madrigals and motets are parts singing from my favorite era, the greatest hits of 1585. Oldest polyphony. We sing music that ranges from 1200 to 1850, but our favorites are the madrigals that were written by Thomas Morley, Tomas de Vista Victoria, so O Magnum Mysterium, as well as even Silent Night, which isn't necessarily Renaissance, but it suits the vibe, of course. but the Wexford Carol, Old English carols, and motets and madrigals could be about the holidays. You don't have to be a Christian celebrating Christmas to like madrigals, because they're also about nature and love and, life experiences. But the tunes are singable. So while we might do something that's 6 or 8 parts and is really complicated to get really cool harmony and overtones and all of the wonderful math of music, the general populace is just going to go, that made me feel good. It's music that makes you happy. We can sing in a foreign language. We sing in multiple languages. Yesterday we sang El Grillo, which is the cricket. So it's a wonderful Spanish and Italian piece about the cricket who loves to sing. And that's really all we say. The cricket, he loves to sing in many ways. But people love the song because madrigals would use nonsense sounds like fa la 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 la, which we know that one, right? Deck the hall, fa la 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 la. But they would use that kind of nonsense sound in the grillo. It was a cricket chirping sound, which just makes people laugh and grin, just like you just did. They go, oh, that was fun. We have one about the nightingale, and so we sound like birds. And so the music pulls from nature and things we experience and turns music into a way of representing that sounds of nature. Yeah, it's accessible because it relates to our human experience. We have our holiday Christmas season music, and then in the spring we do an event with the love songs and the birds and the bees and all of the innuendo that goes with it in Renaissance music.
Something often, well, it's probably talked about a lot in certain circles, but I don't think...
In certain circles, right. But what's really fun is we do all of this to raise awareness that we exist so that we can have sponsors and funding to do outreach concerts. So our mission isn't just to have something at the Joslyn. That's kind of our big event. But our mission during Christmas has been to go to assisted livings and veterans homes and skilled nursing facilities, disabled children's schools, so we can bring beautiful holiday music to people who can't come to public concerts easily. So we've spent this whole month, every weekend, doing that. And we dress up in our Renaissance attire and we go out and sing for people who just need that joy. And what's really fun is the elder care community people, they get all of the innuendo. They get the jokes. They know the songs. They sing along with us. And it's just such a joy to us when we can bring the music to them. We are fed by their joy in receiving it. We just did that a couple of days ago. We were out at J.P. Lord Disabled School. We partnered with singers from A Christmas Carol at the Community Playhouse. We partnered with them to do some caroling. It's been a really fun month this year that we've got to get to know people from not just the places we sing, but other musicians in the community that have similar desires to bring music out to people.
Is your goal then to be able to do that throughout the year, or is it still wanting to be like a Christmas?
Yep. We do. The Christmas season is our biggest season because obviously that joy of the holiday music is so special. But we also do a spring season where we do the same thing. We do outreach concerts, but it's a different vibe. There's not a feast at the castle, but there is usually some kind of a concert in a public venue. It might be a church or a social hall, because singing Renaissance music is definitely partnered with feasting and celebrating. So we encourage people to, when they host us, to have cookies and desserts and treats so they can be sitting at tables rather than in a formal, all seats in a row concert setting. It's more casual and more interactive.
Why did you start Cantare Omaha?
Well, I can give you 2 answers. The first answer is my family is musical. And we thought, wow, we had children, a boy and a girl. Well, they'll grow up and we'll have a quartet. But we're 2 basses and 2 altos, so that doth not a quartet make. We invited friends to sing with us, and those friends are Opera Omaha singers. We sing in the opera chorus together, and there were 7 or 8. And then we said, hey, wait a minute, this is really fun. You know what no one is doing? Renaissance music. And we all did it in college, and we all thought, why do you have to stop just because you've graduated college? Why not do it as adults? We all sing better. So we invited friends, and no one else being a Renaissance ensemble, we filled a niche.
I've been to a madrigal dinner type of thing. Funny enough, my sister, it was in high school, but they did that kind of thing. It was feasting and all that. But it's different than going to your traditional sort of choral concert. What can people expect? Like, say I go not knowing anything about it, but I'm interested.
You can expect to leave your current modern stressful world behind for 3 hours and walk into the castle and go back in time. And it's decorated absolutely gorgeously. The Jocelyn is a magical place on its own. But when you add in people wandering through the rooms and singing carols that you just get to be immersed in and interact with the singers and the actors, it's an immersive experience where you get fellowship, food, fun, and frivolity all at the same time. And there's also times you don't know what's going to happen because sometimes Queen Elizabeth likes to ad lib.
That was going to be my next question, as this is sort of maybe me peeking behind the curtain. But as far as the performers, what is it like? Is there ad-libbing or is it pretty structured?
There is a script. Obviously, the evening is scripted because if you do a proper madrigal dinner, it has to include the wassail, the spiced malt punch. Ours is non-alcoholic, so kids can enjoy it. It's definitely a kid-friendly event. They don't get some of the jokes, so it's okay. But we start with the wassail and the presentation of the boar's head and parading that to the Queen's court. The elements that must be part of a feast. The trumpets heralding the beginning of each segment of the evening. There's a script for the actors to interact and talk about celebrating in the castle and the Lord inviting the guests. There might even be a singer that has too much wassail and falls over and gets reprimanded by the Queen. So we have a script, and then within that script, there are awesome times for just ad-libbing. The Queen might just go to visit the guests in the different rooms on her own and initiate conversations with them. So yes, you get to be a part of the story.
Is Queen Elizabeth, and maybe this is a faux pas, but is Queen Elizabeth played by one of the members of Centauri Omaha, or do you bring someone else in?
Queen Elizabeth and Lord Dudley are a husband and wife, Carrie and Corey von Drack, and they have played those roles all over the Omaha area in Renaissance fairs and other Renaissance events. So if you have any friends that just love going to Ren fairs, especially the one at the Bellevue Berry Farm, they are always there. And that's where we met because we sing at that event. When we initially began the 12th night 3 years ago, Howard Coffin, who is the director and leader of the Ren Fair at the Bellevue Berry Farm, is also at the ticket office at Opera Omaha. We knew each other through opera. And he said, "Hey, I'm a Ren Fair fan. You guys want to do an event? I'll help you get started because I do that." Working with the Von Dracks came from working with Howard Coffin, and musicians unite in the greater Omaha area, and you never know what's going to come out.
And just as a final question, what are your hopes for this? It's the third year. There's things changing. You've got a catered meal now.
Well, of course, our hopes are that we'll sell out this year and that it can grow so that we might have to offer more nights the following year or the year after that, because it's just 2 nights, because voices can't do 3 nights in a row of this kind of performing. You need a break, but we'd love to open up 2 weekends so that we could do it around 12th night, because 12th night moves, sometimes it's on Wednesday. So next year we might do the weekend before and the weekend after if, the awareness of it grows. We'd love to expand the process.
You've been hearing from the founder and director of Centauri Omaha, Laura Petrie. You can see and hear their 12th night at the castle Friday, January 2nd and Saturday, January 3rd at 5:30 p.m. More details are available through the Friday Live page at nebraskapublicmedia.org. Laura, I really appreciate you talking with me.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And the first tree of the greenwood, it was the holly. Holly, 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 holly. And the first tree of the greenwood, it was the holly.
You've been listening to the Friday Live Extra. Don't forget to check out a full Friday Live show, too, by subscribing to the Friday Live podcast. Listen online at nebraskapublicmedia.org/Friday Live, or tune in at 10 a.m. Central every Friday for the broadcast on Nebraska Public Media.